Hello and welcome to the latest episodes of the Dragons Are Real podcast, and I'm Pete Jones. So today I'm gonna talk about D&D, and in particular D&D 5th edition. And yes, we have had edition wars from BX up to 5e and everything in between and your favourite, but today I'm going to talk specifically about 5e. Should we go basic? Should we go SRD? Should we go player manual? What are the differences? So basically everything in 5e is the same. It's the same mechanics. The only thing that difference is what you want to spend your money on. So if you go with the basic rules, which is a PDF, which that was printed in, I think it's 2004 it was released, 2018. That's 2018, November 2018, they released the D&D basic rules, which is a PDF. And in the basic rules, I would say this is closer to the original BX rules, and I will explain why in a minute. Then you've got the SRD, which is the systems reference document, so that's everything that you can legally use in virtual tabletops, you can distribute without any issue whatsoever. Then you have the Essentials kit, which is another like starter set to get people going. And then finally you've got the Players Handbook. So I'm going to talk about what the differences are, and you don't have to spend any money to play D&D. We've been playing now since the pandemic started in March, and we haven't spent a cent on D&D yet. We're just using the basic rules. So let's go through what the differences are. So in the basic rules, you have got 4 races. You've got dwarves, elves, halflings and humans, and that is also the same for the essentials kit. Those are the 4 races that you start with, and this is very similar to the old BX style where you have the 4 races. If you go to the SRD and also the Player's Handbook, then you can add Dragonborn, Gnome, Half Elf, Half Orc and Tiefling. And to be honest, I've got no interest in those extra races. But if you want a bit more racy in your games, then the SRD will give you those extra races. Then we go on to the classes. The classes in the basic rules, again, they follow the BX. You've got Cleric, Fighter, Rogue and Wizard. If you go to the Essentials rules, then they add Bard. And then finally, if you over to the SRD, then you get a few more added to that. You've got Barbarian, Druid, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Sorcerer and Warlock. So as you can see, as each of as we go on, they're adding more and more. And you often see on the D&D forums when people are advertising games, looking for games, they list a slew of books that they want to add. Because it gives extra options to them. Now, the next big thing with the basic rules is that they don't include feats. And that was one of the reasons I chose the basic rules to use anyway, because feats adds another layer of complexity on top of it, and lots of people like all the extra crunchiness. For me, no, I'm not that bothered. Now, when we come to the core 4 classes in the basic rules go up to level 20, so you can have a long, big game. Well, with the Essentials kit, that only takes you up to level 6, and that's probably the biggest drawback in the Essentials kit, is you only get 6 levels, not the 20 that you get in basic, and also the 20 you get in the SRD and you get in the Player's Handbook. But if you look at any of the classes in the basic rules, each one of the levels closely follows what you're getting in the Player Handbook, which you're paying your money for. So you're getting 1 or 2 abilities per turn, you're getting proficiency bonuses added to it. The Downside for the basic rules is that when it comes to the archetypes that you choose at level 3, in the basic rules you've only got the choice of one archetype for each of the 4 classes. Well, if you switch to the essentials rules, then you tend to get 2 archetypes to choose from, but again, that's only rolling up to level 6. And of course, if you go for the SRD, then you're getting the full whiz bang for your money when you're getting all of the you're getting a number of the feats, the archetypes. So it depends how much you want on that. The other big difference with the other big difference when it comes to the basic rules and the essential rules is when it comes to your spells for your druids, for your clerics and for your wizard. There is a really pared down list of spells, and for me that works better. There's less choice, but that's not to everybody's taste. So for example, if you come to wizard, in the wizard you've got a choice of 10 cantrips and about 12 first level spells. When if you go to the SRD and the Players Handbook, then you are looking at probably 15 cantrips and 25 spells for each level. But what I like about the SRD, the basic rules spells, is it's probably closer to the old BX rules that I was playing. Now the thing with all of these rules is, because it's all a course system, is you can easily plug and play as you so wish. So for example, if you're just using the basic rules but you want, one of your players wants to play a bard or wants to play a gnome, then it's very easy to just plug that in from either the SRD or the essentials rules. But for me, the basic rules gives a really good feeling of the old BX, and it's got a good compilation of a bestiary at the back. Not everything there's from the SRD, but the majority of the creatures are there. So for the GM, all you need to do then is, if you go to the SRD, which you can find online, it's just a matter then of getting the monsters you want. And if you want to convert one of the old modules over from the BX or AD&D days, then 9 times out of 10 the monsters that you want are already there. If they're not, it's just a matter of grabbing something that's very similar and just tweaking it a little bit. It's not too hard at all. And we found with our group, I mean, apart from one player who's pretty newish in that he's in his 30s, while the rest of us are considerably older, then 5e to us feels very much like the old games, the old BX games. You've got your saving throws. Probably the biggest change is in the death department, where you now get death saving throws and the hit points are elevated, but then the abilities that the players are getting as they go up and the bonuses they're getting, it does compensate for that. But for us, what we found is that we're not referring to the rule book at all. We're just getting on with the game. We don't have to look at the rule book, which is nice. So we've proved that we've had one campaign which we got up to level 9, and we are going to go back to using the same characters from that, but now we are going to use one of the old AD&D modules and having a change of GM. So we're going to use the G1 to G3 Giants modules. I was GM the first campaign, so I will create a 9th level character, but all the other players are porting their characters across. And there is also some work that's been done there for us. So there was a supplement, Tales from the Yawning Portal, which converted the old G1 to G3 Against the Giants modules over to 5e. So we've got it lists where in the monster manual you can find the creatures used in that module, and then for any creatures that don't exist in the current 5e, then they've recreated them. It also gives you hints on what to use for the magic weapons that were used in that and how to convert them to 5e. And it also provides all new maps as well, so we can do that in the virtual tabletop. So yeah, that's a great way of getting some of the old modules back in again. And as I said, as we've been playing 5e for so long now, we're not referring to the rule book, so it's fast as another RPG would say. It's fast and furious fun, but it's in the old school way. So if you want to get into D&D, then I highly suggest that you check out the basic rules to get you up and running. See, it takes you to 20 levels, and then if you Google the 5th edition SRD Online, it's in 3 or 4 different places. You can add your extra monsters, and if you want extra bump on top of the BX sort of stuff, you can add that as well. So that's my thoughts on the 5e. Let's go to the call-in section. And now we've got the call-in section. We've got one call-in from Jason, so take us away, Jason.
Hey Pete, Jason here. Really enjoyed your recap of 316. Was it Carnage in the Stars? I'm in the car, so I don't remember. But yeah, I've seen that game mentioned off and on over the years. I might have even picked it up and not looked at it. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and see if I got a copy or not. But yeah, it sounds interesting. I definitely see the board gamey part of it, war game part of it. But like you say, you could definitely role play it up and make it a fun game. So nothing wrong with that. I look forward to any further episodes. I know things are staying busy for you. Stay safe out there. We'll talk to you soon.
So, thank you for that call in, Jason. Yeah, Carnage Amongst the Stars, I picked it for $5, so it's a fun little game, and I'm hoping that if I can try and sort of fit it in over Christmas, I'm going to get a game in that. But we'll see, who knows what's going on with this, what 2020 has still got left in store for us. And take care of yourself, Jason. I hope to speak to you again soon. So that's it for this episode, just a little shorty. If I don't speak to you all soon, I'm wishing you and all your families a very Merry Christmas. Stay safe at this time, keep you and your family safe, and hopefully we'll all make it into 2021. And let's hope with the vaccine now rolling out across the world that we can get some gaming in and everybody can maybe get back face to face. That's all for me, and I'll see you all on the flip side.